How's it going? Charles Botenston here. Obviously, I'm back, and it's been about a two and a half week hiatus since I've last posted my YouTube video. We got a nice Times Square ball behind me. Beautiful view. Obviously, New York City, unless there's another one somewhere in the world. But just wanted to go over this video on a little bit about what I went through, and obviously you could be relating to this in some way, shape, or form, or fashion, or whatever. And so I lost some money in a transaction for work, and it just wasn't, it didn't sit well. I was trying to recover it, and it was, it was a down period. I was complaining. I was depressed. I didn't do my routines. I lost my way for literally a week and a half, 2 weeks. And it's amazing how quick something can happen, and it will just throw off your entire life. And one of the biggest things that Tony Robbins says is that life is happening for you. Life is happening for you. Everything. And then he also continues, and I'll go back on both. Actually, I'll just explain that a little bit more. In other words, I lost money, and it was fraud. I got frauded out of money. And I thought about it. And what's amazing is I got frauded out of money, which is bad. And I'm thinking, I'm like, what is the good that could come out of this? I have transformed more in 2 weeks than I have in maybe 3 months. It was, I have a completely different schedule. I'm loving my evening routine, my morning routine, which you need a routine, by the way. You already have a routine. Your routine could be coming home from school or work, or whatever you're coming home from, whatever else is out there, and you turn on the TV, or you eat potato chips, or you grab a beer, or you have crappy food, or you pick up fast food, or you have a coffee, which is terrible. You shouldn't have coffee 10 hours before you go to sleep. I know it's a lot, but I'll go over a whole evening routine. There's a whole big thing that's coming, and it's all for your benefit. So I got out of my way, and my way was my routine. And my routine is what stuck me in the mud when bad things happen. So in other words, something bad happened, but my feet were planted exactly where I needed to be. And this brought me out of the mud. And it just had me flown around like it was a tornado. And the biggest thing is, I said, what is the good that could come out of this? I already said that. In my mind, I kept on thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know, I lost tons of money. I can't trust these people. It felt bad. And then I said, my routine and my transformation has been immaculate. Anything. We think only life should be giving you good things. Like, that's the second thing Tony Robbins says, is that our biggest problem is that we think we should have no problems. Like what? Like anything. Think of anything. Look at these buildings. These buildings provided warmth and shelter and everything else. And then now we have maybe an electricity or water shortage, or we cut down nature for everything good. We invented the car, and now there's gas emissions. We had the refrigerator invented, and there's PFPs, or I forgot whatever it is emitted into the air. ACs, anything, whatever, plastic. We invented plastic. Plastic's one of the best things in the world. It will not decompose. Anything good, there is a polarity of bad. But remember what I said a couple of months ago is that the label of good and bad, ironically enough, is bad. Do not label anything. Just know it's there because life is happening for you. The divorce, the breakup, the death, the business failure, the C+, not making the team, and then you go on and make the NBA and become one of the best world basketball players ever, Michael Jordan. He didn't make his high school basketball team. Anything bad has an opposite. So I've transformed, but you also have to know, and I'll get to a third thing as well, is that you have to know that problems exist. So it forces the people who are fearful or who don't want it enough to stop. They stop. They literally are like, whoa, okay, I just got defrauded. This is enough. I can't go further in business, and they'll close their company. I said, you know what? I was talking to my good friend, and I said, I'm gonna rise like a phoenix, and I have. This past week has been like probably one of the best overall weeks I've had in months, maybe even a year. It's been incredible. So know that when anything bad happens, there's a good to it. And as Tony Robbins says, we feel that we shouldn't have any problems. There will be problems with everything. You will have massive, massive problems. But it's how you look at those problems. It's how your perception is your reality, okay? So I can say, a perfect example, we'll bring up something controversial, which is Black Lives Matter. People that are for Black Lives Matter, they perceive Black Lives Matter as positive. People that are against Black Lives Matter perceive it as something that's bad. It's the same thing, but the perception of it is everything. You could get a C on a test or a D, and a C to me, I'm like, okay, cool, at least I didn't fail. To someone that's an A, it's the same grade. It's a C. But to me, in school, I'm like, okay, thank God, at least I didn't fail. To someone else that was getting straight A's all the way up until then, they're like, wow, I don't know how to handle this. My parents are going to kill me. This is crazy. I have to study more. The same thing happened. I can't go into too many more examples, but you understand. Someone will get third place, and they'll be mad because they didn't get first. Someone will get third place, and they'll be so happy because they medaled. The same thing happened. Just know that, is that we should have problems. We need to have problems, because otherwise there would be no polarity. Imagine everything was beautiful and good, which is impossible, by the way. But there would be no polarity as to, you just accepted it. It's like breathing. We just accept that there's going to be a next breath. If everything was perfect, we wouldn't know what really good was, or extraordinary, or sensational, or bad, or so-so. We invented all these words because we have a sliding scale of feelings. This is going to get very deep right now. So when you're involved in something, and in general in life, this is what you need to do. And I'll go deeper into this, is that you have to observe your life. You have to observe yourself as a third-party person, okay? So this may not click right now, and you'll be like, I don't know what he's talking about, and everything else. So when you're walking around, or you're in an argument, or you're doing something good or bad, or you're at the gym, or whatever, and I'll get into other examples, is that you have to perceive yourself like there's like a camera above you, and you're observing yourself, and say, okay, what is going on right now? Not adding in emotions. You just say, so for me, perfect example is, I'm like, okay, what happened? Okay, I lost money, and the transaction and what I was about to do didn't go through. It wasn't, that guy stole money, that guy's mean, that guy's a fraud. It's, what happened? Okay, I lost money. What is money? Money is a currency. What is currency? Currency is everyone accepting that we trade goods or services with a piece of paper. I'm like, okay, do I have my health? Yes. Am I okay? Yes. How's my family? How's my friends? How's everything else? How's the world? Okay, great. Let's go. So you observe it without the emotion. Not the emotion, someone just yelled at me, or someone said I was short, or someone said I was ugly, or they called me mean or nasty, or they made fun of my outfit. What did they say? They complimented, or they put words out there that said something about something that you're wearing, use it for your example, and you took it as negative. Someone that was homeless was like, I love this outfit. Or someone that made the outfit, I love this outfit. It's the perception of whatever happens in your life. That's how you deal with it. I'll go deeper into that, because that how you receive life is solely based on perception. And as someone that's maybe, beginning self-development or enlightenment, it's tough to conceive right now. Okay, so there's 2 books I want to recommend right now. Actually, there's 3 books. Actually, I'm going to do a book review on the 3rd one. But Morning, or The Perfect Day, incredible book. I read that one, and by Hal Elrod. The second one is called Miracle Morning. Read those two books, The Perfect Day and Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning. Read those two books to have an awesome day, because your evening transforms your morning. Your morning transforms your day, which transforms your evening, which transforms your morning. Okay? Everything, it's cyclical. It just goes like this. It's just, we made the language. We put meaning on a weekend. We put meaning on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We put meaning on those days, that these are the days you work. You work from 9 to 5. We put meaning on that. That we created that, in other words. Like that. I know this is kind of deep, but the other observation that I want to say is, when you observe people, observe them without judgment, but observe what they're doing. Most people are walking around, and I was telling this to one of my employees yesterday. I said, one of my agents. They're not an employee; they're an agent in real estate. But I was telling them, I said, you need to be a stronger leader. I didn't say it like that, but I said, the world is walking around leaderless. They're walking around leaderless. They don't know what to do. They have no idea what to do. They need direction. Look at all these buildings. Look at all of those buildings. All of those buildings are being told what to do. This building right here. Look at that. One of the tallest buildings in New York City right here is the Bank of America building. All of them have leaders. All of them want to be guided. You need to be the leader, okay? So the three things, huge takeaways. Number one is, we feel that we don't, we're like trying to make a perfect world. That's never going to happen. Like I said, Tony Robbins says, our biggest problem is that we feel we shouldn't have any problems. Which then goes into the second part of that, which is, I forgot, it's how you deal with those problems. So in other words, you have to look down over those problems. You have to observe it, as in, there is a glass cage around you, and all you're doing is observing the conversation and saying, okay, I'm hearing the words, what is going on? And then the third thing, I said in the beginning, but anyway, I'm back. The videos are going to get good. They're going to be around here in this area, because I'm outside and I make phone calls and everything else. I hope this isn't too loud or anything else. Really appreciate everyone that commented and said we miss you and everything else. I really do appreciate it. I really do, because it was obviously a tough time, and it's one of those things that, yeah. So have an awesome day. Live with passion, live with fire, be courageous, be consistent. You need to have a process, which I'm going to go over. You need to have a system. You need to have a morning routine. You need to have an evening routine, and that will become your habits. Perceive everything as everything is happening. This was the last thing. Everything is happening for you. In other words, you have control of it. When people say things are happening to me, totally different. The economy. Well, there's Apple making billions of dollars. So have an awesome day. Talk to you guys soon.